Good morning, how are we doing? I hope you can hear me. It's a little bit windy and we're right next to the waves. But today we're going to talk about winning the internal battle. Welcome to the Rise to Thrive show. I am your host, James Boardman. And if you are coming through, then please do let me know. Either by sticking a love heart, pressing the love heart button, sending some love, or commenting down below what you've got on over the weekend. What are your plans over the weekend? What are you hoping to achieve? What are you looking forward to? And then obviously please share with anybody that might need this right now. So what is the internal battle? So I think it could be perceived as many things, right? Mental health, emotional conditioning. But I think that when I look back at certainly the last 10 years for me, I've become more and more aware of my own health mentally, emotionally, and physically. And I feel that going through the things that I've gone through helped me become much more resilient and much more robust to dealing with the external world. So for me, like, it all come to a head when I left the military. You know, I left one chapter, and I remember leaving that day when I left the military. And I remember thinking that I was doing the right thing, and I was, but it didn't really feel like it. And feeling like I was going into a scenario where I did not really know what life was going to bring. Because all I knew was the military for 9 years. My routines, my structure, my identity, my purpose was all based around serving 22 years in the Royal Marines. And I decided to change that at year 9 when I wanted to be at home with my kids and I didn't want to be a weekend dad anymore. So I left that chapter and then went into the next chapter, which was the lowest chapter of my life. And then for 3 years going through divorce, pushing everybody away. And this is when I started to really understand the internal battle. This is when I didn't have any control over my emotions, ego, pride, and stubbornness. And I was selfish, young, foolish. And then we went into the next chapter, which was entrepreneurship. And entrepreneurship brought me purpose again. It brought me life again. It brought me around people again. It gave me a path again. But when I look at those 10 years and some of those chapters that I've just given you, there's a huge amount of overthinking going on. A huge fear of judgment. A real internal self-belief issue. Insecurities. Low confidence. And at particular points of those chapters, I felt completely and utterly hollow. Just completely and utterly empty. Like there's this huge hole here. And I didn't really know what it was. And that internal battle to try and find it and deal with it and overcome it has allowed me to today be a lot stronger mentally. And I just want to share, I guess, my thought process on how I do that. Now, there's a couple of factors here. A number of them are through experience and are through testing and are through just changing my strategies when it comes to dealing with this. Now, one of the first things that I've come to master is being able to control the things that I have control of and letting go of the things that I just don't have control of. And it's like this process now. It's like an SOP, standard operational procedure. If a problem comes in, if something is happening if there's a problem, the way that my brain now dissects that is to go, it puts it into two boxes. Box number one is, I've got no control over this whatsoever. Number two, okay, I've got some sense of control over this. This is what I'm going to do. Not mulling on it, not waiting on it, not procrastinating, but dealing with it. And dealing with it after 24 hours. So that I can allow all of my emotions, so I can put perspective, so I can understand what the situation is and deal with it. So if something's going on inside of here, bang, if I can't control it, it goes to the trash bin. And what I've got really good at doing, like what we get really good at doing, anything when we do it lots, is sticking it in a trash bin and letting it go. Okay? And letting it go. Just letting it go. Not it getting stuck to my pride or my ego or my frustrations. There is no point in getting frustrated or stressed out about things that we do not have control about. Nothing. So just let it go. That is part and parcel of building yourself up internally to be internally stronger. So that internal battle that goes on is almost caused and self-inflicted because you continue to force a situation that you have no hand in. So in the other hand, I'm like, okay, well, I can do something about this here. Let's understand what needs to be done here to switch this around. What do I need to do? So that's one strategy. Controlling and actioning and implementing action about the things I have control of, and the things that I don't, sticking them in the box. The other thing is that I love the saying, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. I've started taking this strategy now, and I think it probably came about from COVID, is that, man, is that all you've got? Is that all you got? So if one thing happens, you're like, great, it's a test, let's deal with it. So I completely changed my attitude and way of thinking to dealing with problems that cause the internal battles that go on here. I refuse to allow myself now to be consumed in negativity with people, verbally, physically. I just don't want to be around those people. I just do not want to be around people that see the worst side of the world, who want to complain and moan about things in the world, about politicians, about my life is like tiny. The amount of time that I've got here, I don't want to spend it listening to other people, because what it does, it infects our own mindset. And then that internal battle, we draw on what all of that negativity is, and then we manifest ourselves in our own. And then all of a sudden we're becoming depressed and we're becoming anxious because everything we're reading on the news and all the people that we're seeing around us. So my second strategy is not to be around negative people, negative things, people that just want to talk rubbish all of the time and put down the world and put down everything else instead of living their lives. They're more interested in how much moaning and complaining they can do. The third strategy is changing the relationship to everything that happens. So if something's coming in, if you're getting punched in the face continuously, it's like, is that all you've got? Is that all you've got? When we used to be a Royal Marine, we used to joke that when we put our green lid on, a lorry would drive into us and the lorry would crash around you because you were that strong mentally. That is the internal strength of a military guy. And I remembered that. And that is how I see life. All of that chaos coming into me like a lorry, driving at 70 miles an hour, and me standing there going, is that all you got? And everything breaking around. It's like an internal coping mechanism. Being battle ready, internally ready. But you don't get there by just going, right, I'm going to let everything smash around me. It takes hard work of showing up, systems, routines, perspective, gratitude, morning routines, 1% a day, every day, forever. I've been working on myself since I can remember. So these strategies and these things that I'm telling you are not something I just woke up and went, yeah, I'm just going to start controlling these things and letting these things go. Because I haven't always done it. And sometimes I don't always do it to the best of my ability. Just because I'm a coach doesn't mean I'm perfect, doesn't mean I've got the perfect formula or blueprint to dealing with the internal battle. Some things still get through the cracks, depending on what time of the day you get me, depending on what's happened, depending on if I've had enough sleep or whether the kids have annoyed me or not. But if we can win the internal battle 99.9% of the time, man, we're winning. It's an evergreen battle, it never stops, because all of the external stuff that comes into our head will never stop. So we've got to keep reinforcing ourselves and our defenses by keep working on ourselves. That's why we run masterclasses. That's why we do 5-day challenges. That's why we run my brotherhood. That's why we have a 90-day elite movement plan, so that we can keep reinforcing the defenses against everything else, so that we can keep building this internally stronger and stronger and stronger, until we get to that point where we go, I'm winning. What have you got for me? What is next? That's all I've got for you now. Enjoy the weekend. If you haven't signed up to my free masterclass for a bit of training, then do it. It's free. It goes on the 3rd of May. Yeah, spend an evening live training with me. We'll have some bants, we'll have some training, we'll have some direction, and you'll get a lot out of it. Have a good weekend.